From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Urban Outlook.
And welcome to Urban Outlook. I'm April Eaton. Thank you so much for being with us today. Today's topic, we're talking about the disproportionate amount of African Americans in the juvenile justice system and in the prison system, period. In fact, there's some statistics that are on NAACP's Fight for a Fair Criminal Justice System. It says from 1980 to 2008, the number of people incarcerated in America quadrupled from roughly 500,000 to 2.3 million. And then when it talks about the racial disparities in incarceration, African Americans now constitute nearly 1 million of the total of the 2.3 million incarcerated folks in prisons in this day and time. We thought we would bring an expert to the panel today to talk a little bit about this issue and a lot about what's happening in Tennessee as far as that's concerned. Dr. Merriel Bullock Neal is the task force chairperson for DMC, which is the Disproportionate Minority Confinement. And thank you so much, Dr. Merriel, for being with us. We appreciate you joining us today. Okay. Talk just a little bit about your role with the DMC. What is it that you are responsible and charged for doing?
Yes, I'm the chairperson of the Montgomery County DMC Task Force, and we have been involved with the state's movement on reducing the number of minorities since 2006. And as chairperson, we have conducted community forums at the public library, and then in the past 4 years we have had a conference called the Joint Conference on Juvenile Justice. We are actively involved with the Tennessee Commission on Children and Youth. This is a part of their task. There's a statewide task force. All of the 5 counties with the largest minority population are involved in the statewide task force, and then the different counties conduct endeavors relative to issues in their particular county.
Those largest cities being Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga, and Clarksville.
Yes.
Obviously, you've been monitoring the Clarksville numbers, and I wonder what you see, or what you've seen through the years in regards to some of those numbers and statistics in the Clarksville-Montgomery County area.
In the Clarksville-Montgomery area, those data reflect the national data as well as the state data, and that there is a disproportionate number of minority youth, especially African American, who come into contact with the juvenile justice system.
You said that some of the ages, too, that the state is keeping track of range as low as 10 years old. I'm having a hard time at the 10-year-old mark. We're talking about young students who are still in elementary school for the most part. So how is it that, you know, the students at such young ages are finding themselves in trouble and in a situation where they're in a juvenile detention center?
Okay. Let me correct one thing. The Disproportionate Minority Contact Task Force, initially it was called confinement, and that only dealt with individuals who were in some type of secure facility. In 2003, they changed the title and made it contact. So this now incorporates excuse me, any juvenile that comes into contact with the system, and not just those for the confinement.
When there are so many young people that are having a tough time, what can parents do? What is the community doing to kind of help them?
Well, that's one of the issues and concerns, is that we want more community involvement. As a candidate for juvenile justice, juvenile court judge in Montgomery County, that is one of my platforms, and that is to increase community involvement in working with young people who have come into contact. We would like to have more community programs for these individuals. We would like a greater involvement between the police department, the school system, and the juvenile justice system, as well as the community. It should be for the community, by the community. There must be involvement. There must be parental involvement in order for this to be successful.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to talk about some of the other things that you all are doing, specifically in Clarksville. And then when you have these calls across the state with representatives from each of the other four cities, you know, how those go and how you all are kind of dialoguing and discussing ideas on how to sort of curb those numbers. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us.